Alright, so this chapter has brought a multitude of different things, okay? So this chapter is kind of has two main things lined to it. So we continue the fight with Deku and Shigaraki in the present, but then we also have some a flashback in the past with actual character development for Bakugo, as well as a few questions moving forward. Once again, Horikoshi is delivering straight lava from the pen, from the marker, from the digital stylus. I don't know what they used to make manga, but this arc has been absolutely fan-flippin-tastic, and now we have Deku just absolutely unleashing hell upon Shigaraki, and I'm for one glad to see where it goes. I do have a few things to say, but I will save it for the end of the video. So if you care about personal stuff, then you can stay to the end. But we're gonna hop into the real reason why I am going to be entertained today, and that is the chapter, of course. So let's go ahead and start at the beginning here. And once again, we get an absolutely that was loud. We get an absolutely amazing fucking shot. Like this is so good, dude. Of Shigaraki. So you get a shot of Deku staring at Shigaraki, and you're looking from the perspective of behind Shigaraki. Shigaraki has the weird rip in his arm through his chest because of him not being fully transformed or having the procedure done or whatever the fuck. I don't really care. He's not perfect. And then you have Deku. Literally, dude, he looks like Dr. Octopus, bro. He's got the fucking tentacles just coming out of, whatever they're coming out of, with the lightning around him, and he's fucking flying, bro. Like he's holding Endeavor and Todoroki and everyone, as well as flying, and probably about to light up Shigaraki with a fucking punch. And of course Deku has the right plan. He says he has to be dealt with in the air. If Shigaraki touches the ground, it's pretty much GG. So Deku then notices that he can't hold Black Whip much longer, so he puts down everybody on the ground, and he says please take care of Gran Torino. And this is where we get a few of character moments here, because Endeavor is a bit jelly because he thinks it's pathetic how he's not the one fighting Shigaraki and Deku is. But Endeavor tells Shoto to deal with the injured. And then a weird thing here is Bakugo says, "Hold on, Deku." This is kind of interesting to me because it seems weird that Bakugo would say something like that. Eraserhead has to be dragged off. I'm pretty sure he's out at this point. One of my friends mentioned that he might have lost an eye. I don't know if he lost an eye or not. There hasn't been any way I can confirm that. If you know if that's been confirmed or not, feel free to let me know. But an interesting thing here is Deku says, then who else? Oh, no, sorry. Bakugo then says, Eraserhead is already gone. You're the one who should be farthest from that guy. And then Deku then responds, then who else is going to keep Shigaraki up in the air? So it's very clear that Bakugo wants Deku to be protected. You see that he once again has that face where he looks angry, and I guess not. I said sad in my spoilers video, but it looks more like he's, I don't know, frustrated or highly emotional. It looks more like he wants to protect and save Deku, but he can't. Whereas Deku, instead of saving people, he is putting his own life at risk in order to take on Shigaraki 1v1. So we're seeing some nice character moments here that hold a lot of weight, almost, and we'll see how they're wrapped up later in next chapters. But we get once again a great quote from Shigaraki, because at this point anything he says is pure villain fire. And he says, if you like the sky so much, then I'll take one for all off your hands and send you straight to heaven, and I'll make sure those old geezers down there keep you company. Oh my fucking god, dude, Shigaraki's a savage. He's an actual savage. Also, I'm babysitting my dogs this weekend, so if you hear any dog sounds, that's the reason why. Anyway, Deku then says some stereotypical hero shit where he's like, "Oh no, leave him alone." He's like, "No. We once again get an absolutely, I swear, every single shot, and borderline, every single shot of Deku and Shigaraki in this fight looks fucking incredible. Actually fucking incredible, dude. Like the way Shigaraki and Deku are drawn in this chapter is absolutely fan-fucking-tastic. Deku uses Black Whip to literally just whip Shigaraki right towards him. As Bakugo looks up at Deku, borderline tears in his eyes while also looking extremely pissed, and Deku going right towards Shigaraki, and that's where we flash back to our flashback of the chapter. This flashback holds a whole hell of a lot of weight, as well as Afro Deku. Now, pretty much the whole context behind this chapter is Bakugo, Deku, and All Might are training, and they want, I believe her name is Suyu, Ochako, and Sero to help Deku train, right? And the reason why he wants their help in training is because he was helping him and Bakugo were training to he was trying to train Black Whip to use Black Whip while floating, right? A bunch of maneuverability. So he's having Ochako teach him how to maneuver in the air, while he's having Sero teach him how to use, because his whips are a lot like Sero's tape, kind of, all that jazz. That's just your typical. This is just typical character stuff. Nothing really too important. We do get context though, where someone asks why he didn't ask Aizawa for help, and All Might says Aizawa is occupied, as we get a panel of Kurogiri. So this took place when Aizawa was visiting Tartarus prison. So we end up getting a moment of Ochako teaching Deku how to fly, how to maneuver in the air, while Sero shows how to work with the tape. And while Deku is training with them, Bakugo sits back, and him and All Might have a moment. Now this is probably a big part of the chapter from an information standpoint. So, this entire flashback was kind of lighthearted, but Bakugo senses something, and he says, "You can't fool them forever, old man." He says, "Things are different than it used to be when Deku only had one quirk. Sooner or later, they'll realize the nature of his quirk." Blah, 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 blah. All Might says he doesn't, he wouldn't have shown, or he wouldn't have encouraged Deku to show off that he had more than one quirk. But it's best for him to prepare for the inevitable when the truth is revealed. Now, what is the truth, you might ask? All Might then says this statement, which I'm sure many people are going to think about for chapters to come, where he says, "After all, those who seek power are not exclusively villains." That's a big one right there. That is a huge statement to set in, because that implies All Might knows, an organization, some government, some person in general, some sort of entity that is not inherently villainous, but enough of a threat to take advantage of Deku and his powers. Bakugo then says, "As much as I hate to admit it, I have my complete trust in Deku," which is another moment for Bakugo here. But this, in my opinion, is a huge information dump right here. So, get prepared here, because this information dump, I think, is going to be very speculative for a long time. So Bakugo says, so apparently Bakugo went through the notebook that All Might made about all the previous users of One for All. Bakugo says, "But in your notebook with all the successors, the fourth holder's quirk was scribbled out. The fifth and sixth and seventh have signed theirs so willingly, so what gives?" I noticed a slight hesitation whenever the topic of the successors were brought up. "What exactly are you hiding from us?" And Bakugo then insisted that All Might tell him, but All Might says no. "I don't know for sure. It's hard to assert anything with no evidence." So this inherently is interesting, right? Because we've seen all the users of One for All. We don't know all their quirks yet, but the fifth, sixth, and seventh, signed theirs willingly in the book. However, the fourth holder's name was scribbled out. What does this mean? It's hard to tell, really. It's really hard to tell. It could mean maybe they had a change of heart. It could mean maybe they died. It could mean maybe they're evil. I don't know. I'm not gonna guess. Maybe their quirk is some weird shit. Some weird shit, right? Like, think of, turn your brain on and for a second and think about how, what is the weirdest thing you can think of, all right? And then put it into a quirk. Maybe that's what the guy's quirk was. But All Might then says no. He says, "I'm still concerned with young Midoriya's growth and yours as well." And then I don't know. I think it's Bakugo said that Bastard doesn't realize how special he is. We get that moment where Bakugo just says it used to annoy him how Deku would grow so fast, and how I pushed back my own feelings of weakness that manifested within me, and I bullied him for it. So, we're starting to realize that Bakugo has grown as a character because he used to bully Deku for how fast he would grow, but now they're training together because Bakugo is now confident that he can get better than Deku or be close. It's a much more healthy rivalry than what it was before, and they both help each other grow as well as wanting to be better than one another. So All Might then compares Bakugo to Endeavor, and in my opinion, that is probably the closest relationship we'll see in the series. The closest one that we'll see to Prime Deku and Prime Bakugo, in my opinion. All Might and Endeavor will probably be what Deku and Bakugo are in the future, although I don't think Bakugo is quite an Endeavor. I think they'll be closer than All Might and Endeavor were, but All Might nevertheless makes the comparison. All Might then says, I never had the foresight to think ahead until it was too late. There will come a time when we will converse about this again. I may not be in the position to say this, but you better not miss this time. And the flashback cuts off. So All Might is going to talk with Bakugo again about Deku's growth, about how Bakugo is, he sees similarities in Endeavor as well as Bakugo. And we flash back to the present day where Bakugo says, you better not miss this time, Endeavor. As Endeavor, I guess, prepares to go towards, I'm assuming, Shigaraki, right? That's the person we're going for. Hold up here, I have the dog's ball. Let me go throw it real quick. I don't know if you heard that, but so now we flash back to once again a fucking incredible shot of Deku just flying past Shigaraki, black whip all around his waist. And what can I say? These are amazing action shots. We then get some inside thoughts from Deku, where he says, even at 100% strength, he's resisting my hits. But he does notice that Shigaraki's regeneration is slowing down. And once again, we get some amazing art shots of basically Deku using Black Whip to prevent Shigaraki from touching him. That's happening, right? All for One can't be stolen. But I don't know, Shigaraki has so many other quirks. I don't know why he's not using them. Maybe it's just a lot quick. So I love all of these shots of Deku versus Shigaraki. But then we go back to the final shot, which is, once again, an amazing face shot. He says, one for all will be the power to topple that of your all for one. He says, gotta end this right here, right now. I'm channeling everything I have into this final blow. And we get an amazing face shot of Shigaraki and Deku. And we pan to the amazing shot where Deku claps Shiggy's cheeks and says, whatever the consequences. And he basically does, the anime shit where he goes right past them and there's some explosion or something. I don't know what happened exactly here. But that is the end of the chapter. We learn that Deku has grown with the 3 quirks he has so far. Bakugo has grown. All Might has grown. However, there is still something All Might is not telling Deku. There are more secrets to be revealed in the future, of course. Bakugo has growth. Deku has growth. Secrets have been revealed. And, of course, the Deku versus Shigaraki fight is prone to be one of the best fights we've seen in the series thus far. Once again, a bomb-ass chapter from My Hero Academia and Horikoshi. Where the chapter goes from here, I'm more than ecstatic to know. I'll be here next week for the chapter, of course. And before I go, I just want to say that this will be the last week of videos with my really, really shitty setup. I go back to my normal house on the 25th. So expect, the quality of videos that I had before then. And I'll be back doing those later. I'll still do the spoiler video on Wednesday or Thursday, and of course the review-ish, depending on when the chapter comes out. But that will be everything for today. Bomb-ass chapter. Thanks everybody once again for their support. I love discussing this type of stuff with you guys, and I'll see you in the next vid, whenever that may be.